Do you want to take your sweatshirt off? Boo, you're going to be hot. You sure? Okay. I know you young folk. Pruners are a little, I mean, technically you need to have, and I'm just going to rest this here for this time. Technically you need to have a tree pruning certification through, but I mean, that kind of pruning is fine. You'll see a set of pruners just in there. If you want to take those, you can use the brown bag to.
So everything that's new that's growing up like that, take it off.
Yeah. I mean, part of it is aesthetics. The other part of it is just that, you know, it starts to impede. And then I'll bring some more. Hi there, how are you? You gonna enjoy the festivities? Take care of some trees? Oh, fantastic. Yeah, absolutely, yep. So I'll take out some other tools. These ones are actually rather good, but for the two of you, if you just want to grab those.
Are we a team? You and me?
You know, today this event is sponsored by the city council person, Diana Ayala. I know she's sort of out the door, but in any case, I'm from big. Yeah. I think Encarnacion. In any case, my name is L'Oreal.
Nice to meet you. I'm Sha.
Sha?
Shabeja.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, she's freaking amazing. Yeah. You know, so we're here today to do a street tree care event. We'll be focusing on as many trees as we can, just going down park.
Okay. So
Yeah. You know, so the 5 steps of street tree care. The first one, remove the litter. Remove the weeds, and when we talk about weeds, they're the ones that are not intentional. So the ones that people didn't plant, and you'll likely know, but if you see that they're flowering, you can ask myself.
Okay.
But generally, you know, we want to take out any of those weeds that are competing for nutrition with the tree. After that, aerating the soil or loosening up the soil. So you want to loosen up the soil. You know, and these ones in particular, you can see already they're immensely compact. And a lot of that is because of where they are currently residing. And that's right next to the train tracks. So if you think about the reverberation, oh shoot, they are opening the street? Oh, that is a gate? Oh, okay.
And he must have been already in the block.
I see, maybe he was just backing up.
Like this.
Okay. But they've got those bikers and stuff. That's not,
well, they
oh
can
my gosh. Oh, I love it. Wow. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. So just back to the 3 steps. When we're aerating the soil, we're loosening it up so the tree pit can actually absorb more water.
Like that, it can't.
Right. So when we've got
The soil being aerated.
aerate the soil, number 3. Number 4 is applying the mulch. So we source our mulch from Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn, and that's sort of like, you know, closing that loop. So rather than buying mulch from Lowe's or, you know, one of the other places, you know, we've been working with them for the past 3 years. And take a whiff of it, it smells good.
Okay. That's even better.
And then the last step is leave it better than you found it. So you just want to sweep and clear out the, you know, the area, just make it look pretty for everyone that's, you know, coming by. If you would like to leave your stuff in the truck, you may. You know, we try out different tools so folks can use them at our events. You know, and then, you know, so this one in particular is a bit different. I'm definitely not familiar with it, but it's a weeder, and it's a little different. And then this one is quite good for compaction. And again, when we're talking about compaction, if you look at the tree just over yonder, compaction, you know, occurs when, particularly around here, because of the train that's going back and forth. The reverberation of the trains, the trucks, the cars that pass by cause that compaction. And when tree pits are compact, they can't absorb water. So what happens is it causes that water runoff. And because we have a combined sewage overflow, it just inundates our sewage system. So that's why we want to, inform folks that, taking care and maintaining the trees helps with the water absorption. So when we're talking about, nearly 850,000 trees and street trees that we have, Parks doesn't have 1% of the budget. And our budget is what, $160 billion, and we don't have 1%. So at present, we're at 0.06%. And there have been a lot of advocates that have been fighting for just 1%, just one, So if you're thinking about the 5 boroughs and then all of the New York City Parks staff and everything that they need to do, that's why a lot of folks have been signing and petitioning. So parks, can actually fund taking care of our urban canopy and providing resources for folks so that they know what to do with their trees. So
when the soil gets compacted, is that called hydrophobic soil? I've heard
yes,
that term
yes,
used.
And you know what else? You know what else is hydrophobic?
Yes.
Do you know those dandelions? When you blow them, if you put them in water, they're hydrophobic. So yes, but absolutely. So when you don't allow the soil, or when the soil is not disrupted or what have you, the water just it trickles down onto the sidewalk or onto the street. So yeah, hydrophobic. I mean, there aren't many people, so I don't know where they went. Okay. Oh, gross. Yes. Is it all dog poop? Let me get special dog poop bags for you. Oh, yeah, we got to do before and after photos too.
We've only gotten one needle so far.
Oh, snap. Okay, so when you see a needle, let me let me take care of it, because we got to dispose of it correctly.
Okay,
so yeah, take caution. I'll take care of it. Ay, nako puta. Okay, so it doesn't have the needle, but usually we do have a sharps container, and we just want you all to be safe. And I would say as well, when you have a moment, you can also just snip this.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it's just an impediment. Okay, I'll be right back. Ah, that's so cool. Oh, that's why we got to be extra careful with the tools. So here's the poop bag. And in fact, Carrie did mention that there's a lot of poop. So I am going to, I'm going to actually dispose of it now so you're not smelling it here, but just, So I would say just any poop, just put them in here, and then we can tie it up, and then, but I'm gonna remove this stuff. So here's the roll here,
Okay, gotcha.
and I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, so
What about bigger rocks?
we can leave those in there. Sometimes if you leave rocks in the front of the tree, that sort of is a deterrent to the, to the dogs. Sometimes they'll just sort of gravitate to that instead of the tree trunk. And I found some fun bags. You can, we don't want the mulch to be raised too much above the level of the sidewalk. Meaning that, this one you could probably do maybe a little thinner and just thin it out. And then once you apply the mulch to the entirety of the tree pit, you want to create a reservoir or a donut around it. You remember. Is that dude? No. I'm like, oh, doo-doo. So this here we can, sort of thin it out because it won't need as much. And then what happens is if there's too much mulch on the tree pit, it just, washes out. Yeah, and try to avoid covering the tree roots because it can create root rot.
Don't want that.
Right, so, you just sort of designate like a little line area around it. And this is actually also drug paraphernalia.
Yeah.
So you have to be extra careful because especially if it is fentanyl, as you know, fentanyl, you can breathe it in and it can just inundate you. Well, urban, yeah, I would say a bit more. I'm just gonna go over here, see if there's anybody else. Nice, yeah. Because we were expecting about 23. So I imagine folks probably just, got distracted and said, oh my gosh, look at all this fun stuff to do. So we'll see how many we can do.
Yep.
And I'll get this. And then we'll just sort of migrate. And I'll pick up, say again?
Should the donut be a little closer?
You could probably inch it up a tad more and then just flatten it out and then, yeah. Yeah. And the interesting thing about, yep, I'll go over there.
I need gloves.
Yep, get gloves, a hand tool, and a long handle tool. I'll go with you. Take a shovel, yeah. And then just be careful of the, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
And the mulch is there already?
Yep. So the black container, that's called a toter. So we get our mulch from a cemetery called Greenwood. I'm gonna move these. So the first step is removing the litter. So you do want to be careful, even this here. Make sure you always have gloves, but this is drug paraphernalia. And if it had fentanyl in it, as you know, touch it, absorb it, gets in your eyes, you have to be extra cautious. Let me. So these are a different type. These were like one of the popular ones long ago. They all come in different colors, different sizes. I'll grab those, yeah. This guy. All right, I'm gonna put these tools over here so you don't sit on them. Okay. And then any garbage, I'm placing these tools over here so you know that they're here. Okay, so even all the little stuff, that's nasty too. The cigarette butts, it's still the #1 littered item. Right, so once all the litter's removed, you just take your hand tool or a long handle tool, and I'll just show you right quick. Yeah, so you want to be cautious. This is, did it rain yesterday? I guess, yeah. So, I think because this is like sand is not a preferred material to use. There's no dirt, so it's all mostly sand. But when you're aerating, this is what you want to do. You want to just be careful of the rootlets. Those are the smallest part of the root system. So, so right here, you see how the hairline, very fine hair rootlets. So you want to avoid disrupting them, but it does happen. So you want to aerate the entire tree pit, and then once it's aerated, we apply the mulch. And this one, yeah, I would say for this, maybe about an inch. So essentially covering it up to the sidewalk, the level of the sidewalk.
Settle after it rains and stuff?
Yep, yeah. And then the whole reason we use the whole reason we apply the mulch, it helps with water retention, and then it also helps with, you know, it's it has nutrients, and then it just sort of trickles. It would take a little while, but I mean, in a way, yeah. Yep. So you just turn the soil. You know, when we're talking about dog poo and dog urine, there's something called nitrate burn. So what happens is when you have, you know, an area where the dog has peed regularly and it hasn't been disrupted and just sitting there, what tends to happen is there's a layer of this, you know, just crust. And that, it covers it, doesn't allow anything to get in there. And then, you know, it eventually just degrades the trunk. So this is not its, I mean, you know, this is just the stinking sand and clay. But this is what tends to happen, you know, if there's constant urine that collects along the tree trunk and particularly along the soil, you know, the soil. So.
That's good.
Eventually, yeah. And I think I'll.
Thank you. Yeah. Anybody, you know, just like.
So there's a lot of poop in here. And, you know, we try not to use virgin plastic. So, you know, it just so happened that we found the roll of the poop bags. But if you think about the number of bags that already exist, ain't nobody need to buy plastic bags. I find plastic bags every day, collect them, and then just bring them so we can use them, you know, to collect the poop. You know, and I think people have been conditioned, you know, to buy unnecessary stuff. You can use, you know, my mom used to use, this is so gross, I'm okay. My mom used to use her bread bags, any kind of thing, rather than buying poop bags. It's just not necessary. And a lot of it is, you know, requires a behavioral change because people are such consumers that, you know, oh, let me buy that because that makes sense. But we actually have a lot of stuff available. You know, so that's one of the reasons why, you know, we use Fresh Direct bags. So we're not using black construction bags. There's no point in buying virgin bags. And, you know, all of these, I have kitchen bags. When people throw out their recyclables, they're always contained in all of these here, and folks don't realize, you can empty those and reuse them, especially if they're, filled with recyclables. This is really freaking nasty.
So what are you going to do with this little sprout coming out of the base?
So when the tree is under a lot of duress and a lot of stress, what happens is they start growing or, producing, shoots from the root system. So, we tend to prune them down. It also partly is aesthetics. So folks, once you clean this up and you remove it, it looks nicer. But it really doesn't help the tree. So there's no point in leaving it there. Yeah, so you can see the seeds inside. That's sort of how they propagate. Yeah, and then just tap it, perfect. These you don't need to leave in there. I mean, they fall from this here tree, so you could actually see them right here.
What are these pods called, L'Oreal?
I actually don't know. I mean, the tree itself, I'd have to look up myself again, because I'm not as familiar with the species. But they're rather fun to look at. They don't really have much of a function. But if you do want to
If we looked up on the street map, it would tell us exactly what it is.
Right, exactly. So if you have a look right here, you notice how it's got sort of like this crusted layer. So now this is, it's probably a combination of other things as well. But this is what happens when you have like that collection of urine that just sits there and, it's not disrupted. It creates that layer of crust. And then it's just not impenetrable. So that's why, we want to actually break it up and then allow the tree to sort of breathe and take in. Oh, so we got our volunteers. Are fine, but it's the one, like any type of weed can contend with the nutrients of the tree. So that's when we want to actually remove those. And sometimes when there's a lot of overgrowth, it also attracts rats, so you can't see the rats. Rats sort of tend to burrow and hide in those kind of areas. So that's another reason to keep those tree pits free of any kind of weeds. So remove the litter, remove the weeds, then we aerate the soil. So when we aerate the soil, we want to loosen up or, mix it up, because what happens is, and if you notice just over yonder, compaction. Compaction is caused by the reverberation of all of these cars, trucks, and especially the subway system. So if you can imagine constant, that's how tree beds and the tree pits become compact. And when they're compact, that means that the tree pits cannot absorb water. And, the tree pits can actually help with water runoff, meaning that when we have these, major water events, if the tree pits can be used as a sponge. So what happens is, even with a 1/4 inch of water, our sewage system, it becomes inundated, meaning that, you may hear that folks saying, you may hear folks say, oh, don't do your laundry during rain, take a shower, hold off on doing your dishwasher, because all of that water is going to that same place. We're a metropolitan city, we haven't upgraded our sewage system, and it can't, withstand that amount of rain as it's going into the sewage, and then of course into the Hudson River or the East River or what have you. So remove the litter, remove the weeds, aerate the soil, loosen the soil up, apply the mulch. So we have toters full of mulch, which oh my God! So we source our mulch from Greenwood Cemetery. So that, with the idea of closing the loop. So rather than buying mulch, we have all of these cemeteries, we have all of these parks. They, they create a lot of mulch and debris and whatnot, and we can use that to put on our trees. So this is good old Brooklyn. Hopefully one day, Central Park or what have you, will step up to it. So when you're applying the mulch, you want to apply it to the whole perimeter of the tree pit. A lot of these are now city graded, meaning that they've expanded them, so the trees actually have more real estate. Because the roots don't grow down, they grow out. So that's something to keep in mind. So when we're applying the mulch, you want to make sure once you're done to pull the mulch away from the trunk. So if you're familiar with landscapers, sometimes you've seen when they create the volcano and it looks nice, but it actually causes root rot. And you don't want the trunk to be covered and you don't want the roots to be covered, because that when you're talking about root rot, if you think about it, the roots are, connected to the tree, and it degrades the roots. So you want to pull it away, create a reservoir or a donut around the trunk, and then after that, you just want to leave it better than you found it. Just sweep up anything like residual stuff that that's sort of sprinkled around. So you got your gloves, you can grab the hand tools, and one thing just to keep in mind when you're aerating. So for example, if you use this tool, there are fine line hair roots. So they look like your hair, really minuscule, very thin. Those are the roots that actually take the water in for the tree. It tends to happen, but just be mindful. If you notice it, try to avoid breaking it up. It happens. So you can take a hand tool, a long-handled tool. I can walk over and just show y'all if you want to give this one a try. This is a hand rake, if you want to try that one. This one is not as effective. I mean, if anything, you could just, stab. Why are there cars coming through? Take caution, I don't want you to get run over. Is it open? I hope not. So.
Because they're parked, and that's why. They're parked up and then they move.
Yeah, okay, no, just kidding. If you want to try this, otherwise you can have, loosen up everything up throughout the tree pit. And then once you're done with that, I'll come back around, but again, mulch, you can either dump it out or you can, use your hands.
I think the tree guards really help in the maintenance of these trees because it keeps a lot of trash and dogs out of these ones that have tree guards.
Absolutely, yep. Yeah, I mean, and go have a.
So the main focus is really breaking up that sand.
Exactly.
And transferring the mulch.
Right, yep. And then the mulch, it sort of adds another layer of nutrients,
Right.
and also helps with water retention.
Right.
So.
And preserves that certain temperature.
Exactly, yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's your first tree, yay! Yeah. Yeah. And I would say, maybe, work into the soil a bit more, maybe like 2 inches or so, just to, because this is sand, just to sort of, yeah. Ta-da! Isn't it lovely? You took care of your first tree. Yeah. Yes. Nice.
Hey, L'Oreal,
And this-
get me with this whole rig. I don't have a shot of this rig. Photo
Get
of
you?
me with
Oh, I
this
see.
rig.
I'm like, wait, huh?
But do a wide, not a.
Oh.
Yeah, like.
Right. All right. Yeah. Okay, take caution. Yeah. Nice. I'll take that back and bring another one for y'all. Whew. Yeah, all right, so I guess we'll leave this. Yeah, this one's, I don't know if it's like a proven thing, but sometimes, you know, if you just leave it, I'm just gonna clean it up a little. Yes, oh yes, sorry about that. Yeah, it's gonna be ready for the brutal winter we're gonna have. Here, you just have to, they're easy to pull out. So when you pull them out, you just want to tap the excess and then just fold it. And just see where the doo-doo is. I know, I'm weird. And part of it too is we want to keep as much soil as we can in here. As well. But really, if you ever see these and you have a dog, these are great poop bags. What? I've rated all the bags because, you know, it just, what? No.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and then just, you know, a few more of these little itty bitties. And then I think we'd be good to go. What else? Yeah, I mean, you know, it's good to take them out, yeah, because these are weeds. So sometimes these are just snapping off, which is sort of tough. But if you get to the root, you can really grab them.
Usually the spots that don't have the rain garden, is that just means they just didn't get to it?
You mean like the mulch and whatnot?
The barrier.
Tree guards.
The tree guards, yeah. Well, one, they're really expensive.
Yeah.
You know, so now they go between like, you know, 1.5 to 2,000. But you know, there are you can install your own.
Right.
But if it impedes the trunk itself, like the tree pit, you need to get a permit. So sometimes you'll see, you know, makeshift ones, which are really cute, you know. Exactly, and you know, those work just as well. The whole idea is to prevent idiots from letting their dogs poo and pee, the litter, that kind of stuff. That and aesthetics, right? Because ain't nobody, you know, looking at this and saying, "Oh, this is nice."
Decor.
Right,
Generally,
exactly.
The tree guards were put around this
Here,
building because it's
let
a
me
new
just-
building, so
Watch out.
they're responsible for the maintenance of the tree bed. A building owner.
Ooh, it pierced. That's okay. All right, yeah. And I'm just gonna grab some of the litter, just because we dump this at one of our gardens, and we try, you know, to sort of incorporate it in our. And it's also the container itself, so it's sort of interesting. Yeah, you sort of learn things. So when we refer to toter, this is what we. And then we'll try to get a group picture. I'm gonna put this to the side so it's not impeding your view. Or I can just bring it in the truck. Let me bring the truck. This is how I stay spry. Oh my God, my breath. I'm okay. I'm all right. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. I tell you, it's a good workout. Look at these guns. What? You like the definition? Feel that shiza. Feel this shit. Firm as a motherfucker. Whew.
Because I want the big reuse truck in the back.
Hold on, my hair.
All right, this
Oh,
is
you stop
video,
it.
so
You
it
just
doesn't
stop
matter
it.
what you do.
Okay.
Thank you for the work you did today, people.